This is Hank for the Wildflower Bee Farm. Today I'm talking about sensors, and there are two types of sensors we use here on the farm. The first is the Go-V sensor, and I just finished putting them in. They're about a $30 sensor I picked them up a couple years ago. Install them in the top moisture blanket, we call it, just underneath the top cover. And we do that because most bees are killed in the winter from moisture, and also with that poor insulation in what they're living in. We've been using wood shavings, which is recommended in ours, until if you saw the video on lamb wool. All our hives now have lamb wool in the top because it's supposed to be excellent for moisture, but also obviously insulation from the cold. So the reason we're using the sensors is to tell us in real time what's happening with temperature and humidity in the hive during the winter. The Go-V sensors, which are really incredible for $30, and I highly recommend, if you don't want to get anything more than that, that you get a Go-V sensor, put it in your hive, put it in your top box, your top inside cover that you're using as a blanket, winter blanket. Remember though, we leave this in 12 months out of the year. The wool, just like the wood shavings, will be left in 12 months because in nature, bees don't actually, experience a change in the thickness of the insulation of what they're living in based on the seasons. So our goal is to keep it the same, keep it simple. The Go-V sensor, the only other thing is you need to be standing near the hive to collect the data. It will not send it to your home or to an internet site. And that's not such a bad thing. It'll hold data. I've had it hold it for over a month. And then I stand about, this distance, and it can be October, November, whatever you do it, and it'll download, your iPhone will find it, or your portable device will find it and send the data into your phone, and then you can download it and keep it and do all kinds of things with it. It's pretty incredible. The highest level that we used is the Monit. Part of me is my background. I call it Monet, but M-O-N-N-I-T, I believe, is the correct spelling. It's an industrial humidity temperature sensor, and it sends the data to us 1,500 feet away to a gateway that then puts it on the net, and I can look at it anytime in real time without actually leaving the house. We have a number of these in some hives around the property, plus we have a control that's in a box that has no bees, that tells us the regular temperature without bees. And again, it's to look at humidity and temperature. Now, what's interesting is this year, because we have so much data from last year, we can compare the shavings winter to the lamb wool winter and see what's happening as far as temperature and humidity. So the reason I'm in gear finally is yesterday, even doing the wool, even though I'm only taking the lid off, I'm not getting into the bees. I did get stung because they weren't too happy to have me around. And one hive out in the bush actually followed me for about 100 feet, just banging off my head. And all I did was put in wool. So just to be safe, today I didn't feel like getting stung again. I've had my quota for the year. I thought I'd get suited up. You might want to be careful because you really don't know. Now, there's no issue of this putting off any bad vibes to the bees as far as we know, and it hasn't been an issue yet. So here we go. I'm just going to go in, and I just turned it on, and I'm going to put the sensor inside. I really packed this one down with wool. And it's interesting that even though we have so much wool, they're sending the data to us quite fine, even though it's quite a distance away. So we're about 1,000. Make sure I turn that on. It's on. Yeah, it's on. And it will send data to us every hour, and it'll help us keep track of how our bees are doing throughout the winter. And here you can see the lamb wool that we put in and how it gets pressed down. It's amazing the technology still will send the signal despite everything that's on top of here. So this is Hank for the Wildflower Bee Farm. Have an amazing day. Remember, the sensors can really save your bee and your hive lives. So for $30, get a Govee and keep track of what's going on. Have a great one.